Hi, welcome to Guitar Lesson 7, Part 2, the F minor chord. An F minor chord is a form of bar chord, and for beginners, the F minor chord is particularly challenging. So you got to be patient, you got to practice this one. It's not an easy one to learn at first, but as with anything on the guitar, the more you practice it, the better you'll get at it, and the easier it gets. So let's take a look at what exactly a bar chord is real quickly. The bar chord is you take your first finger and you bar it across all 6 strings. This will allow you to use your other fingers to actually play different chords. So an F minor chord is actually going to be right down here on the first fret. And the first fret is the location where it's got the most resistance. So pressing down on that first fret, and if you're playing on acoustic, it might be even more difficult to get yourself to place that first finger across all 6 strings and press them all down. So that's probably one of the reasons why an F minor chord can be particularly difficult for a beginner. The other important thing on forming a bar chord and the F minor chord is your thumb location. Your thumb cannot be resting up here. It'll be way too difficult to try to build this chord and play all the strings without muting other strings. So your thumb really has to be back here in the middle of the neck. So let's also look at when I build this bar with my first finger. I really want to stress the importance that at the 6th string, the tip of my finger is right behind the fret. At the first string down here at the bottom, you can see there's a little bit of room. And ultimately, that builds a nice little angle with my finger. So that's very important. You try to place your finger in another direction, you're going to find that your other fingers are going to have a hard time. So those are two key parts of building a bar chord. 2 key parts of this F minor chord are right there. So the other particular challenging part for a beginner is that you got to use your 3rd and your 4th finger to play the remaining parts of this chord. So your 3rd finger is going to be right here on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. 4th finger right here on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. So all together, you build that bar, you place those fingers down. So, like I said, this thumb needs to be down, and you want to make sure that you have some room right there for your pinky to clear over your 3rd string. So that part can be a little bit tough if you're a beginner, because it's easy for that pinky to rest on that 3rd string. So you got to try to avoid that as best as you can. Another tip for you, if you're having a hard time playing at the 1st fret, there's different chords that can be played all along the fretboard here, and it can be a little bit easier if you need to move up and try playing this chord somewhere else. You're actually going to be playing a different chord, but that's okay. It's just forming that shape in a different spot of the guitar might be a little easier, and then maybe you can transition down here to the 1st fret. So let's get into it. 1st fret across all 6 strings. 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. Let's make sure that's set. So, like I said, if you're a beginner, be patient, stick with it, practice it. I promise you, you will get it down.